Hi guys, welcome to yet another beautiful edition of your favorite program, Y.A.R. And in case you are joining me for the very first time on Y.A.R, which is an acronym for Young and Relevant, what we basically do is to take an evaluation, a deep dive into the youth community, see how much our youths are thriving, see how much the youths are striving, see what possibly are the constraints we have in the youth community. And I want to believe that you are used to that cliche that the youths are the life wire of every organization, every society, every nation. And true to the test of time, historically it's been proven that truly the youths are the life wire of every organization, every nation, every economy. On this episode, I have a very renowned practitioner in the hospitality sector. He's been able to journey from one point of management or even service in that sector to a big force, a big name when it comes to management, business management, when it comes to human resource management, when it comes to anything that you would classify as management. Yes. Don't go nowhere. When we come back from this short break, I will allow you to get meet my guest. Hello, welcome to Bon Hotel Smith City, Oka, a different place, another world. At Bon Hotel Smith City, Oka, we are glad to serve you, providing an atmosphere of ambience and serenity. Let me take you on a tour on this facility. Wow! And this is the beautiful reception of Bon Hotel Smith City, Oka.
Steps up on your deck. My name is Sanju.
Welcome back to the program here. Excitedly, we have a great man, a great force, like I like to call him, a principal, experienced manager when it comes to business and human resources, when it comes to managing humans too. Yes, I'm talking about a man who has been able to establish himself as a reliable force when it comes to business management and human resource management. Mr. Anthony T. Zoe Kamefa. His name sounds too foreign. His name sounds too tushed. If you're not careful, you won't know that he's a Nigerian. Mr. Anthony, pleased to have you on the program, sir.
Thank you.
As a matter of fact, he is presently the general manager of Bon Hotel Smith City, Oka. He's been able to establish his foot in managing renowned hospitality investments and establishments, and he is one man who is most needed at a time like this. On this subject, this program, I will be talking about hospitality, a viable business establishment. Let's get to find out if hospitality, most of the people, when people hear hospitality, they believe it's just all about hotel. Let's get to find out what hospitality in its entirety is all about. Good to have you, sir. Let me have the pleasure of allowing you to introduce yourself to the viewers.
Good morning, all. It's nice being here. My name is Anthony Timepades Zuokemefa, like you rightly said. Currently, I'm the general manager of Bon Hotel Smith City. Oka Bon Hotel is an hospitality management company. We're spread around Nigeria, Africa, and we are cutting across even to the Europe. That being said and done, I'm also a management consultant and also a human resource management consultant, human customer success specialist. Also, I'm a coach, a hospitality trainer, and a coach in a nutshell. So that's who I am.
His profile is long. I was telling him one of the days we were talking, and I said, how do you manage being a manager in a leading hospitality establishment in Anambra State, being a father to children? And he did mention that to a pastor, having spiritual children. As in, like, how do you get to? And as a matter of fact, he is also a man who loves education big time. But that's not basically what we're dealing with today. Let me start off by asking Mr. T, how would you define hospitality? What's your total makeup for hospitality?
Hospitality is a broad industry. It encompasses so many areas: tourism, the hotels, the restaurants, accommodations, general care of human life, the basic care, taking human care out of the homes into a specialized management area trained to take care of people's life in living. That's what hospitality is all about. Even in the aviation system, that's part of the hospitality. So hospitality is a very, very broad area that, and it's a big business worldwide. A very, very big business.
Do you think it's doing well in Nigeria?
Considerable, I would say hospitality is doing well in Nigeria. It's still, there's still much more to accomplish, but we are doing well in Nigeria. Doing very well, as a matter of fact, in Nigeria. It's a big business.
Okay, having the pleasure of hosting you and being the general manager of Bon Hotels Mid City Oka, let me narrow down to Bon Hotels Mid City Oka. With respect to this subject of discourse, as much as I am aware, people allege that Bon Hotels Mid City Oka is the lead hospitality establishment in Anambra State.
Yeah.
Some people argue in Oka, but majority of persons I've heard say in Anambra State. Okay, now what's so unique about your brand and your establishment, I mean your local facility?
All right, thank you for asking that question. First of all, I want to recreate that impression that is not an alleged statement, it's a statement of fact.
I like that.
Bon Hotels, it's the leading hospitality management industrial organization in Nigeria, and I said in West Africa, also in Africa in general. We've come a long way, and we just didn't get here by mistake. It's been the standard of high quality standard of hotel management principles and practices that have been brought from the time past to even the current state that we find ourselves. You are absolutely correct. Bon Hotels Mid City Oka in the east, in Anambra State precisely, is the only national hotel.
The only national hotel?
Yes.
In Anambra State?
Yes. You want to narrow it in Oka, but I believe in Anambra State. We are the lead. We lead others follows. Why? Because of the Bon Hotel in code standard that we keep, the uniqueness of the management system of the Bon Hotels Mid City Oka, in line with the standard of operations as laid down by the Bon Hospitality Management International, West Africa International. We are incomparable. When you come to Bon Hotels Mid City Oka, you see the way the operations run, you will get to understand that it is run by the management team that knows their onions in this business, headed by the general manager. And it's a place that is highly respected. We are recognized not just by ourselves, but even other hotels around us. They know that we lead and others follow far behind. So it's not a fluke, it's not a speculation, it's a statement of fact. And that's why Bon Hotels Mid City Oka is the most preferred choice, the first stop of every interstate travelers or international travelers, business class travelers. If you're coming to this side of the world, to the east, the most preferred hotel to stay, the safest hotel to stay, the hotel where you get the best quality standard of services is in Bon Hotel Mid City Oka, and I say it with all pride.
Okay, you've actually heard it from the horse's mouth, like it would be said. Emphatically, Y.A.R is targeted at youth. Y.A.R is targeted at the young class of the society, and I would like to take this subject a little bit more narrowed now to the youth. Okay. First off, before I get to ask you how you've been able to journey from one point to where you are now, let me first ask, when we talk about hospitality, of what essence, what influence does hospitality have in respect to youth? What are the professional opportunities? What are the life opportunities that the youth community can actually find themselves in when it comes to hospitality?
Yeah, thank you for that. One of the largest employers of labor is in the hospitality industry, the hotels. You see that what the hotel does, what the industry does, is you take youths from the streets, bring them into a professional work place and platform where they will learn the principles and practices of how the hotel business is run. And from there, a lot of them have grown careers. A lot of us started from the scratch. We started from nothing. Some of us from waiters, some of us from receptionists. We found out that our eyes were open to recognizing that there's a career to be built from here. And for those of us who were patient enough to build a career in it, we grew along the line, becoming supervisors, becoming managers, becoming
managers like departmental managers,
and from there heads of various sections, and before you know, becoming probably assistant managers, operations managers, and from there to becoming a general manager, and some have grown to
become general manager.
Yeah, brand manager. You see, the list, the opportunity is wide open. People grow to becoming directors of different departments as large as the industry can accommodate that particular company. So for the youth, the industry is doing a lot for the youth. And the youth stand a chance to benefit that much, because you find out that the operations of the running of the business operations of the hospitality industry in hotels precisely, you find out that it's highly dependent on the strength of the youth. As a waiter and waitress,
the running of the hotel
yes,
or hospitality sector is largely dependent on the strength of the youth.
Largely,
that's a big clause
dependent on the strength of the youth, because it's a service industry.
Exactly.
This is how you need the youth to be.
You don't need old men there.
Yeah, of course. As a waiter and a waitress, you don't need old men. You need young, viable, youthful, determined youths to be employed to run the business. Wherever you find it, in restaurants, in housekeeping, in front office, in the kitchen, F&B, it's youths. It's all about youthful, the strength of the youth. So, like I said earlier on, the youth stand a chance to benefit that much from this industry.
And build a career in the system.
The hospitality industry is one of the most employers of labor, especially when it comes to the youth of the society.
I like the fact that people stand chances to grow in the system. That word is in parentheses. You grow in the system, more like you get into the system, you are groomed while on the job.
Yeah.
And then you build a career in it. Okay, Mr. T, let me narrow down to you. Because one thing we found as an issue in life, particularly in this dispensation, is the fact that my class, we're always in a haste to make it, we're always in a haste to arrive, looking at men like you, maybe something you've pushed for over the years, 20, 25, 30 years, and you've arrived to where you are now. People that are just breathing, just starting life would look at you and be like, I want to get here.
I want to be like
how are you able to first sustain the temerity of morals, values, keep doing things right and legitimate level to getting to where you are now? Let me start from off there.
First of all, I'm going to say that the pace that everybody can get to where they will eventually get to is not the same. We are different, our mindset is different. What is set before us to accomplish, the way we accomplish it, beyond every reasonable doubt, is different. But then there are general principles that guides every human being. in order to get to where you're expected to go. And that's one of the key one is patience. Patience, diligence, steadfastness, having intention, being determined to get to where you're expected to go. Now, regrettably, in this current generation we find ourselves, that word patience seems to be dying.
Amongst the youth particularly.
Among the youth particularly, nobody wants to pass through the rigoratory of patience, stages that you need to pass through to get to where you are expected to get to successfully. People just want the quick fix, the quick make it, has taken over the society, and also further, regrettably further, it's because this is what they see.
Exactly.
Over the years, for the past decade, this is what has been the norm. Quick fix, quick make
That's
it.
really the advent of social media where they now get to.
Social media has really bastardized the societal perception of view of how to make it in life. So that patience of passing through the necessary stages for you to, like as a child is born, you learn how to.
I like the stages.
Yeah, stages. Like a child is born, you learn how to sit, crawl, stand, take your first step.
And fall.
You fall,
Rise.
And rise again, and before you know it, your legs are steady on the ground. You start running, and those stages seems to be dying off, or if it's not dead already, except for some few people who understands what it is. Depending also, the almost going out of adult hood generation is the biggest challenge. I'll tell you why it is the biggest challenge. The fear of what the elders will be in the future. Now, it's something that is a mind-boggling subject, if I may say.
Mr. T, sorry. I'm dazed now. When you make that statement, you mean the fear of those now. What their elder state level. I don't know how to put that.
What the elders
they will look like.
It's a big fear in this current generation because you find out that we're learning nothing.
Exactly.
Youth of these days, they are learning there are no norms, there are no ethics, there are no morals. It's completely dead. But we use the word completely dead. And you try to project, to foresee the future of the elders and what can be downloaded again to the younger generations. You don't give what you don't have. Right now, the generation is learning nothing. No ethical knowledge, no principle knowledge. The practical knowledge is not there. There are no stages of experiences that are being learned to know how to manage life. So you find out that at a point in time, in the future, not too distant from now, morals will be dead completely. They're not learning anything.
Mr. T, let's take a quick break. We'll come back to also have you divulge a number of things, because I have too many questions that I want to ask. Sincerely, because it aches my heart, it pains me, and I like the fact that I would want to say that the person even behind the camera is a young guy who's also doing well for himself, but we are few. You scarcely see youths who want to commit to building themselves. I tell you the truth. But don't go nowhere. When we come back from this short break, we'll still have him in the studio to take us a little bit further, and I'm still your host, Arenze Chukwu. We'll be right back.
Introducing Happy Bite, your journey to flavor and delight. From sweetness to zing, each bite is a taste adventure. Treat yourself to a happy bite. Unwrap happiness. Feel the satisfying crunch that leaves you craving more. Happy Bite, where tastiness, crunchiness, and fun come together.
Welcome back to the program. In case you are just joining us, this is Y.A.R. Y.A.R is just an acronym for young and relevant, and I have one of the most beautiful souls, like I would like to classify him now, in the studio with me, doing justice to the subject we have at hand: hospitality, a viable business sector, and he's been able to justify one is define hospitality and its scope and the broad sense of what hospitality is all about. Because too many persons think when you say hospitality just mean the hotel business, but he's been able to establish the fact that tourism, the F&B, that's food and beverage, you talk about restaurant, eateries and stuff, talk about even a sector of the aviation business, all constitute the hospitality sector. And with me in the studio is Mr. Anthony T. Kemefa, a man who has been doing well for himself when it comes to business management and human resources. He's a chartered human resource consultant and then also chartered business management coach. Welcome back to the program. So,
thank you very much.
Mr. T, before we went on break, you were first talking about how you were able to join. Let me also make a very slight shift to what do you consider as major challenges that the youths have in this present day generation, not necessarily economy.
Okay.
What are the challenges the youths have, and how do we get to attack and address these challenges?
Okay. A lot of people who I see it from a different, an immediate, need an immediate response to that, but mine, I'll look at it from the broader perspective. The greatest challenge is the economy.
The economy.
In economics, in what we learned in school those days, there's something they call the economic pool. The economic pool says that get the basics right, fix the basics. Once the basics are okay, it automatically pull every other thing along. And I'll give you an example. Fix the road. Let there be power. Let there be road, power, water, accommodation. Those are basics. Maslow hierarchy of you find all those things out. Now, if those things are averagely available in the society for the common man to use, you find out that it pulls every other thing along. If there's power, business will move fine. There will be minimal challenges. If the roads are good, transportation, commerce will move well. If there's water, home living will. Then you find that once these things are unavailable, people start thinking of alternative.
Whether good or bad.
Whether good or bad. The moment the economy has lost its value and has dropped to a stage where it's the survival of the fittest, you're telling people, think out of the box, think out of what the economy can do for you and survive whichever way you can survive. You see, that syndrome is what has plagued our society today. And when people will start looking into that direction, surviving in whichever way you can survive, expect even the unexpected. People start thinking of every other possible way to survive. Now, this is the fear of that kind of life. And when people start seeing other people ahead of them surviving, especially big time, richly, from every other unethical way, and it's becoming like a norm, looking normal in the eyes of the people. Don't be surprised that the economic pool also will happen. Every other person will follow suit.
Seeing that some persons are making it through that,
whether good
or bad.
That is the challenge.
Now, do you think the government has a lot to do in respect to that?
It's not the government. Not just have a lot. The government is what should be done. So the government is what should be done.
Is what should be done.
And if you understand
exactly
what I'm saying.
I get you very well.
once the society, and when we say society, mind you, the society is largely made up of the youth. Now, once the youth and the society at large don't feel the positive impact of the government in the basic needs of life, then there will be a shift. There will be an automatic shift. So the government is, beyond every reasonable doubt, is the one to be held most responsible. Now, we are not talking about morals. Now, morals deals with the internal, immediate, societal either failures or norms or whatever. We're not talking about how it has affected the economy,
Generally.
the economic effect of the populace, of the government.
A lot is being said. I want to believe that you've been able to pull your chair and sit. It's not a subject that you would want to possibly listen to passively. Yes, you need to sit and engage. And don't forget that you can be a part of this conversation by sending us messages via the number displaying on your screen or via our social media handles: WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, whatever means. Just check the screen and be a part of this conversation. Okay, Mr. T, let me get back to hospitality and maybe basically hotel.
Yes.
Some persons believe that for you to establish a business in that sector, you already must be made to some extent. You should be financially stable. Alright, more like to say that to establish a business in the hospitality sector, you must be a rich man. How true is that, and what are the basic prerequisites to establishing a business in the hospitality sector?
Alright, I'll break it down into two answers because when I look at it in both ways, they go, you're right. You're right in both ways. In an economic society where everything goes well, sometimes when you need to start even from the smallest business sector, you want to start low, they might need a bank loan. Once the bank sees that you have all it takes, your background, experience, and you have your plans. So once your blueprint is good to go and they see the viability of your business, the possibility that the bank will start your business. But and I'm afraid one of the greatest challenges is the population. How many people can the bank serve? So the bank can only serve a few. So what about the remaining lots? How do they? It means that there will be a high level of limitation of, even if I intend to start up limited restaurant. Brings me to the other side when I say that both ways the answer is correct. That means that one needs to be financially stable.
If you must not do loan.
If you must not do loan, you must have been established financially to that state where you can start up. You can start up and grow from there. Sometimes the bank will also want to recognize your startup. These days, it's difficult for bank to keep people even from the scratch. They want to see what you have started with. They want to see the prospects ahead of you. So it's not just difficult in both ways.
Now let me make reference to what you said earlier when you talked about one of the factors that sponsors the quick fix syndrome in youths.
Yeah.
Talking about social media and what is being displayed.
Yeah.
Do you think that this generation and even those ahead that has possibly arrived in quote also partake in the decadence we've seen now? Because if you check social media, maybe I would want to believe that it's beginning to slow down. How people flaunt to riches, how people flaunt to wealth, how people. Do you think those things are part of the constituting factor, and what ways can we also use to ameliorate that?
Majorly, like I said, it's all about influence.
Okay.
What influences a generation is what they see largely, and these days what they see, societal activities surprisingly, societal activities has been taken away from the streets, practically now to the social media. The people are not informed with what they see on the streets. They are informed with what they see on the social media. And most things from the social media is make-believe.
Exactly.
They are not real. So when people start seeing some few people flaunting their wealth, whichever way it is gotten from, it passes a negative message. And it has become so rampant, so common now, the way it's done. And all that you see, that's all that you see. So the youths they are a product of what they see from the social media. That's what they represent. So that's the challenge.
It's more like a give and take thing. It's what they are giving that they get molded.
Exactly.
Okay, well, as we begin to wrap up on this program, what would be your word of advice first to the youth community, and then secondly to the government? Because I believe that the government, I was talking to somebody, if you take a look, two things I would make reference to. One, the government, the most recent thing that happened in River State, somebody said that this is just a pointer and a breeding system for the would-be politicians in time to come. Because fact is, the whole of this happenstance is informing who they likely would be when they arrive at that office. And then secondly, I don't know if you know the popular guy, Very Dark Man. He's currently in China. And then he made a post of hair vendors or stuff, the rates. I was now comparing our country and said it's outrageously high. Alright, and then people now began to attack him and said he's rubbishing their business here. So that's also to point out, is it also, how do I structure this now? The errors of those who possibly have seen the light, not wanting to communicate light to those coming behind. So how would you marry your advice to the youth community and to the government?
All right. Okay. First of all, I always like starting with the government. If you make the society to look like it's only those who knows what to do can find their way out of a loophole that can survive, you just created a problem. You just created a problem because everybody will be struggling to look for that loophole. And like I mentioned earlier, when it becomes the survival of the fittest, it's going to be a dog-eat-dog kind of approach to it. Dog-eat-dog means if I can, whatever I can do to outweigh you to get
no matter
there.
whose ox is being gone.
It's a lot of people now. What it means that once I get there, I kick the ladder away.
Exactly.
That's exactly what is happening in this country. But why I blame it on the government rather? Why I blame it on the government is that if it's an open door policy where it's easier for everybody, not just a few, then you find out that, excuse me, nobody will make it as a, it won't be an encomium to anybody. It won't be like a, I know it alone kind of, or let me just get it and let nobody else get it. Once it's free, and once the atmosphere, the business atmosphere, the prospects, the chances of getting there, getting to your expectations, if it's as open as expected and it's free, nobody will make it nobody will take it as its own and make it difficult for others. So it's for me, as a matter of fact, for me, the government has a very big role to play in order to do that. You see, people take undue advantage of things. You mentioned a very dark man, a very dark black man, that's his name. Yes, we know he has some, as far as social media is concerned, there are some still negative things that they say about him, but that's not the point. We look at the positives. What is he trying to do? He's creating an eye-opener.
Exactly.
For so many people. Yeah, those who, like I said, would like to get there and kick the ladder, we will not appreciate what he's doing. everybody's doing a yeoman's job. If we have people like him to open the eyes of so many and make people see how easy it is to get into those business platforms. China right now is the world power. The world is looking at.
At the moment, Nigerians are trooping there because of some of the revelations the guy brought.
I saw one of his videos when he said that, wow, he never knew how easy it is until he gets there. And he knows that there are a lot of Nigerians who come, but it's not known to so many. It's not known. It's that loophole that if only a few that passes. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. I saw the video. There's so many products there. They're even begging for people to come and do business with them. They're begging for people to come and see something. So it's if we can have the kind of society where it will be free for everybody to get into the business to do what they want to do. If it's well regulated and the borders are free for everybody to do what they want to do. The commerce, the commercial aspect of this economy will skyrocket. So that's it.
Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and that's how far we've come on this program here with Mr. Anthony T. Zuekamefa, the General Manager of Bond Hotel, Smith City, Oka. And don't forget, I'm still your very lovely host, Arenze. Be there, or we'll come your way again.